Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. This is Rick Janson. Guest today on Coffee with Closers for Agents is Cori Whitaker. Hello, Cori.
Hello.
Just quickly, who are you? Why should people listen?
Well, my name is Cori Whitaker. I have been in the real estate business for 17 years. I'm with Windermere Real Estate, which is a large regional real estate company in the Northwest. Live in the greater Seattle area, and I do a lot of business in the area. So maybe
Define a lot of business. Yeah, define a lot of business. Give yourself some credibility. You're being modest.
okay. Well, last year I closed 77 million in transactions. The year before, 73. Out here in the Northwest, that's averaging, over a million, 70 plus transactions a year.
That's fantastic. That's amazing. I think anybody listening to this can agree. That's just unbelievable production. So the whole point of the show is all you need to know in the time it takes to drink a cup of coffee. So we've got 9 more minutes left. I'm sure everybody's going to be wondering, like 70 deals averaging over $1 million. Where are your leads coming from?
Yes. Well, I'm being in the business so long. Most of it is repeat and referral at this point. And the rest of them pretty much come from my farm. I live in Innisarden Shoreline, and before that lived in a neighboring community called Richmond Beach. And those two neighborhoods are farmed deeply and have been for probably 10 years. And so about a third of my business comes from my farm, and the rest is repeat and referral.
Now, you have to add value to people. I mean, repeat and referral doesn't come free. Farming doesn't come free. How are you adding massive value to your clients, to your farm, so that they see you as a logical go-to choice?
Well, I think initially and always is that each interaction with people is genuine and knowledgeable, professional. So I have a good reputation for being a pro and working full time. I do have a team that adds to my value. I have an in-house stager who helps sellers prep their property all the way from contract signing to launch. And she's a designer and just a great communicator, helps sellers do whatever they have to do to get their house ready for market as a point person. And then I have a buyer's agent who takes the lead with showings so that we can cover more ground. And then I have a long-term licensed assistant who's been with me since 2014, who pretty much does everything else. And I do the sales, negotiation, marketing of properties, research, that sort of thing.
Awesome, Cori. Awesome. So let's look at someone who might be in the business under 5 years. I've been in the business 20. You've been in the business a long time too. And for someone who's been in the business like less than 5 years, and they're like, well, how do I get up to this price point? Like, how do you get into luxury? And maybe luxury is defined differently in every market, right? It could be 200,000 for some markets. It could be 10 million for other markets. I think the average price right now in San Diego is something like 2 million. Average price in Boulder, Colorado is $1 million. So average doesn't get you luxury, but $1 million in a lot of markets is a big ticket.
Right.
How do they kind of up their game, without being able to afford to go to a country club, without being able to afford to go to a black tie every weekend? How do they bump their skill set or bump their price point?
Yeah, I think the number one key is to establish a neighborhood that has a higher price point, and then ask agents if you can hold open houses in those neighborhoods. I built my business in the beginning in open houses. And if I didn't have listings of my own that I could work and circle market around, then I would find neighborhoods and listings and price points that were of interest to me. And I would hold that house open and meet neighbors, talk to people, try to procure their contact information, and then follow up.
Yeah, it's funny. People will say, well, no one will let me hold their open house. Like, do you find that's true? If you call
not here. I mean, here, I think a lot of agents here don't really want to do open houses, especially those that are established. So, once you've been in the business 17 years with mostly repeat and referral business, I don't want to always hold a random open house on every day of the weekend. So our office and several offices around mine have newer agents that are pretty eager to hold open houses so they can have their conversations, practice their, knowledge, what they're learning, how to share it, and then meet people.
And I agree. And I agree. I brought that up kind of as a, the typical agent objection. It's the no in your head, not
Yeah.
the no on the phone. And
Yes.
when I was actively doing this, I would just say, "Hey, this is Rick, Cori. I saw your beautiful listing on 123 Main Street. That's looks gorgeous. Could I do you the favor of holding it open this Saturday?"
Yep.
And I would just make that call, boom, 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 for about, I don't know, sometimes it'd take me 1 minute, sometimes it'd take me 30 minutes. But if you get to hold $1 million open house,
That's worthwhile. That is
now
worthwhile.
it's not worthwhile if you just go post two signs on either end of the block and sit there on your phone doing Facebook all the time for 2 hours. So
Yeah.
how is it useful to hold an open house if it's somebody else's listing? What would you recommend somebody do?
A lot of signage. And that's one thing I came to over the years is, pouring down rain, windy, and I think, you know what? It's advertised on the MLS. I'll just put a couple signs close to the house so I don't have to get wet. And I think, no, the signage is what's showing people that you are working on the weekend. So I put out every sign that I have, directionals at every intersection. And more so, it's telling everyone who drives by it that Cori Whitaker is working this weekend. And I would get people telling me when they call me, I see you work really hard. I see you work really hard. So they saw my signs, they saw me working the business, and they liked that. And then when you're there, yes, engage, questions, hold something back that's valuable, maybe a report or something in the latest news that you can send to them and, ask for their contact information. I'll send you this report if you have an interest. So it's nuanced. I know it's uncomfortable for some people, but the more you do it, the more comfortable it is.
Yeah. One of the things that, excuse me, one of the things when I'm holding an open house that I do is I'll maybe slide broadcast a neighborhood, slide broadcast being ringless voicemail. And I'll say, "Hey, I'm just calling to let you know, I'm sorry to, hey, this is Rick Janson, realtor. Sorry to miss you," because it goes straight to their voicemail. "Sorry to miss you. I just want to let you know that we're holding an open house down at 123 Elm Street this weekend. And with the marketing we do, it's going to be really, really busy. And if there's any problems with someone blocking your driveway or whatnot, I mean, I never would want it to be an inconvenience for you with the traffic that we're driving to this home. So please take down my cell phone. It's 303-589-2320. Because the marketing we do is going to drive so much traffic to this house. And just as a reward to you, we're going to have a private open house just for the neighbors where it's going to be low key, private. No one else is going to be there. No traffic. If you'd like to come over an hour early, here's the time." And that way you also kind of get around the no call list because you're not selling anything. It's a public service.
Right, I like it. I like it. And I like that it goes straight to voicemail too.
Yeah. And that's just a slide broadcast. I don't make any money on that. It's just a useful tool.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. And I do neighborhood open houses also in my farm neighborhoods. And I'll usually pick an additional night and I'll do it with an invite only. And sometimes they're well attended, sometimes not. But when they're not very well attended, there's 3 or 4 people that you have great conversations with. And so it's always worthwhile, I think.
Yeah, and never be discouraged by the attendance. When you said rainy open house, I recall a rainy open house I did one time. Is $950,000 house. It had maybe 3 people show up that whole open house, but I ended up finding some clients that came in. They just saw it posted on like Zillow or something that they saw the open house, came over. Within a week, I was working with them. Within 2 weeks, I had them under contract at $1,050,000, and they've bought 3 other homes with me, I think, since then, and referred other people to me.
Yes.
So never be discouraged by the slow open house.
It only takes one to make it worthwhile. And if nobody shows up, you get some work done while you're there. Bring your mailing list and go through it, and it's never a waste of time. And
you can be busy.
Yeah.
Cori, thank you so much. I don't know, do we still have connection?
Yeah, I think so. I can hear you.
I don't know if we still have connection, but Cori, I want to thank you so much for your time today. Folks, reach out to us. There's Cori. Thank you so much for your time today. Cori, how do people reach out to you? It's been 10 minutes, so we're out of time.
Yep, you can reach out to me, Cori Whitaker at windermere.com. That's CoriWhitaker at windermere.com.
And Cori, thank you so much for pouring into agents that don't know you and just giving away information to help elevate the state of the game here in Washington and around the country. Folks, I can be reached at 303-589-2320. Thanks so much and have a blessed day.
Thank you.